Hi everybody, this is Barry Goch. I'm a finishing editor and I also teach post-production at UCLA Extension. I also have many years of creative editorial experience, and that was utilized in this technology demo, the Lost Lederhosen, that we prepared for the HPA conference in February. So there were three phases to this edit. The first phase was before the conference, the second phase was after the conference, and the third phase for the director's cut, and the third phase was for the public cut. And the public cut we had to do because the stock footage that I had cut in wasn't be able to be licensed. So I had to recut it. So this is the third version, the third approved version of the show. And you can see as I scrub through here that it's extremely responsive for being in the cloud. And the way I'm accessing the cloud is through the Teradici PC IOP client on my 10-year-old MacBook Pro, 17-inch for the screen real estate, of course. And I just had a really wonderful time working this way. It was really easy once I figured out how to get stuff up and down out of the cloud. And that's really where the challenge to this lies. It's not so much working in the cloud, but managing the up and down, or the ups and downs, so to speak, of how that works. So you can see that I have a police siren sound effect, to match up with the aerial footage that was shot actually the day before, I think, the main conference, or the day of, I'm not really sure. In any case, it was not in the first version of the cut. So you can see that it's very interactive, that I can trim this in the picture updates just like I would on a Avid connected, in a facility to something that was local, not in the cloud. This is actually a little bit interesting in terms of the craft of editorial. So as our heroes came in, there was supposed to be some kind of a cue at some point where they come across and they were supposed to stop, or something like that was supposed to happen. So I just upcut that part. I just cut around it, and really that's, to me, the job of an editor. You're a creative problem solver, that you're given this footage, and we make the best that we can out of it, absolutely, with the idea of respecting the story and all the other work that's gone into making this happen as part of the creative team. So I really want to delve into the ups and downs part of this, so to speak. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show as well was that if I pull the audio mixer up, it's a really good way to demonstrate how interactive this is, because as I drag across, you can see how all my audio animations are in level changes are following along and changing as I drag this across. It's really is a good demonstration of exactly how interactive and how fast this whole setup is, even though I'm connecting to the cloud through Ethernet in my house. And it's not the fastest connection, I've been told. So in terms of getting stuff up into the cloud, I ended up using Dropbox. And the Dropbox, you can see here, these are some of the music cues. So I would go through and thinking about it now, I could have been doing this in the cloud the whole time, because this is literally a browser that's in the cloud, and I could have been previewing the music, and that's just sort of the hurdles that you have to get through when you're transitioning from a desktop workflow to a full cloud workflow, is that I could have been previewing all of this in the cloud and then just copying it, or downloading it from the cloud, whatever cloud that the music was in, to the Azure cloud, if it wasn't in the Azure cloud already. And the way that we did the review and approval process is we did it through Frame.io. And so what I would do is I would do the edit in the cloud. I would bring up the sound design and sound effects and visual effects and graphics and whatnot. And then I would do that all in the Avid. But then when it got time to get notes on cuts, I would bring it into Frame.io. And the way that you bring something into Frame.io is super easy. It's you take it, you drag it, you drop it, and then it uploads. And you can see the speed of the upload, how fast it's being uploaded right now into the Frame.io. And the benefit of the Frame.io interface is that that it's really fast, but it also gives you a really graphical representation of it. So I can double click on this as the way that you would expect to. Maybe it's taking a second to sort itself out, it looks like. After all, nothing is but you can see that as I drag across here, I'm getting a little thumbnail, and it looks like it's still working and transcoding the media. I believe that they take the media and transcode it in the background. So rather than watch the transcoding screen, which is done right now, so I assign myself a little bit of a task. So instead of just pushing into Munich and then going off Munich, I thought, well, I should really give it a beat to show that we're on Munich instead of just sort of gradually pushing in and flying off of it. And so I'm going to give myself a note here. I'm going to go and circle, and I'm going to say day on town name. And then I've just added a note there with little representation of a graphic. And then the other thing I wanted to do was to show something that's bumped me from the get-go. And then this is the public version of the cut. And so I'm just going to delete my previous mark of this that I did. So I can use JKL keys here to go through this. This has already been uploaded. So something that's always bothered me is that this Jeep crosses in front of our talent, but there's a reflection of a production light. So I definitely want to get rid of that too. So I'm going to circle that and then just type in remove light. And then there's a note there that I can go back to, and it'll go frame accurately to where I put that mark on there. So what I've done is I've also opened up After Effects. And so After Effects, this is my version 2 that we're looking at here that has this camera move in it. And it's degrading because the picture is degrading because I have it on quarter resolution as I scrub through it. So there's the move into Munich and then the move off of it. And so what I did was that I changed the animation of the camera because it's a 3D camera flying around here. So I have the push in and then I hold on it. I actually push in a little bit more but at a slower rate so it registers, and then I zoom off of it. So I've gone ahead and fixed that and rendered that already. And then so this is an example of a workflow where I would continue editing. I would give the notes in Frame.io, and then those notes would go to the producer or to the post supervisor, and then I would continue working as an editor. And then in the background, the graphic designer is fixing, or the graphic artist or the assistant editor, whomever, is working. So you can build this amazing parallel workflow and using the Azure cloud as the hub for the edit, and being an editor, that is the hub, is because that's where all the information comes in, the audio, the visual effects, the temp, comps, all of that stuff comes in here before it goes out to the world for approval. And so I also have Flame running, and this is the amazing part of it too, is that I'm essentially using the cloud as a KVM, as another application in my toolbox. So there's the shot. I've already exported it, and you can see there's the reflection there. So what I did is I just did a quick paint shot inside of Flame, and I'm able to access inside of Flame the entire batch tool set, where I have all these kind of nodes. I have amazing tracking capabilities and layering, and the whole everything a compositor could want, is in here. So instead of making this a Flame demo, so to speak, I just want to show you that the work was done in Flame, and then I did this in what's called the batch effects, where I can connect up all these different nodes, and then I went ahead and rendered it out, and then I rendered that out to my to Avid directory. So now I'm going to go over to the Media Shuttle, and so what I have here is this is the connection that's really the best way instead of Dropbox. The Media Shuttle is a secure connection that has a direct peer into the folder structure that is in the Nexus. So through my web browser right now, I'm actually looking at the Nexus in the cloud. So I want to send some files from VFX, so I'll just double click there. I already have a folder with today's date on it. I'm just going to click on upload, navigate to the files, and I've got version 3 of the graphic, and I have version 7 of that comp, and I'm going to hit upload. And so this is going to take just a couple of minutes to upload. It's based upon the internet connection that my terrestrial, so to speak, laptop has, and I'm uploading this into the Nexus inside of the Azure cloud. And it's really a powerful thing because as an editor, I've been continuing to edit and make changes and revisions, and then the Media Shuttle would send me a notification, okay, these things are uploaded and ready to go. And so once these shots are uploaded, I can very quickly bring them into the Avid and cut them in and move on to the next task without having to talk to the visual effects team, have them emailed to me, to my company, and then they go onto the safe server outside of the production network and then copied to the production network, and then I have to find it and fish it out. What I've made is essentially a Dropbox inside of the Azure cloud on the Nexus partition, where I'm uploading these two files. So once these two files are uploaded, which is just a few more seconds, I'm just going to wait for this progress bar to finish. So now the transfer is done. I'm going to switch back into the PCIOP client. I'm going to go to my folder structure. There's the folder with the date and the hour. Just going to drag those, hold the Option key down, drag them in here, and then poof, there's my animation. So we can go ahead and take a look at that. That's version 3 of the animation, and there's that extra beat on the fly into the Munich. And then here is the version 7 of the visual effect with the reflection removed. There's still a reflection around the frame of the window, but I don't find it as distracting as it was, and it definitely will be able to pass QC. You can still see a little bit of the reflection there, but for a quick fix that I did in I don't know, half an hour, I think it's acceptable, and it definitely reads better to me than having that giant reflection that we saw previously. So that's the demo. That's what I wanted to show you. We've got the Avid in the cloud. So here's the before shot right there. There's the big reflection, and then here it is gone. So I would just go ahead and cut that in, and then, and the nice thing about the Flame is that when I would get the high-res 4K material, I can apply the same effects setup, and it would just automatically resize everything. But I really wanted to demonstrate the power of having the centralized storage in the cloud, so you can use that as your hub to make everything accessible. And then you can also see there's bin locking here on the Avid bins. That's a feature of the Avid. So then I know, okay, I'm the person that owns this bin, and it protects somebody else from working on it too. So that's part of the Avid software. And so that's a way in a multi-user environment to be in the same project, but also protect the work that I'm doing while it's still accessible for other team members, that they would just save a copy of whatever they would do in this open bin. It would be padlocked for them, but I would still be the owner of the bin, so to speak. So that's what I have. Azure is fast. It works. Give it a try.